Joining us on the couch this morning, Patrick McGarry from Hulse, Playfair McGarry. Interesting topic as well when we're talking executors. That's even for those of you who have done the responsible thing enough and have actually set a will in place, which is which is number one, which most people should kind of take the responsibility to do. But one of the main things about it is actually choosing someone to be the executor of the will, and also taking on that responsibility when you're being asked. And that's what's encompassing in this seminar that you have being offered.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's a seminar actually we've been doing for a number of years, but still very well attended. So obviously a topic of interest to people. And it's a dual presentation. I do a portion, and John Johnson, who's an estate lawyer and a partner actually with Nelligan O'Brien Payne, he speaks about the legal aspects of being an executor, and I speak about the role of the executor in planning a funeral, because that's one of the duties they're responsible for.
For many people, they'll take it as an honor that the person, comes to them and says, "This is our request, and would you take on this responsibility?" Right. So they have that to them, but a lot of them don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, there's an interesting fact or statistic that I read that said that 90% of people, if you asked them to be your executor, would say yes. And the reason why is because they're honored to do so. Only 10% actually know that what is involved in being an executor. So,
how much responsibility falls into it? Is it more than just kind of signing on to things? Because there's business, there's family, there's... Is there a lot that goes with it?
Absolutely. And so when you're asking your executor, when you're asking a person to be an executor, you're really asking them to be, an administrator, a facilitator amongst other family members. You really need to find out, does this person have the skills? Do they have the time? Because it's on average about 18 months to settle an estate. And during that time, they're responsible to deal with other professionals and governments, and they're responsible to the beneficiaries of the estate as well. So you have to keep those people up to date on what's happening. And depending on the age and such of the beneficiaries, you may be responsible for their care as well. So there's a wide, there's a big task.
When you're looking at the seminar and those that are participating in it, are you looking more for people who are coming in trying to say, okay, who's going to best suit the roles that you just picked out? Or do you have a lot of people who have just been asked to, or are in this role and then need to actually figure out, okay, what's in store for me now too?
Well, people don't know what it is to be an executor until they've been one. And most people will say no the second time, actually. But as far as the attendance of this seminar, most people are people that have been asked to be an executor or know that their role is going to be as an executor in the future. The ideal situation is where the person who asked them to be the executor actually is with them as well. Because what the seminar does is it provides them information and knowledge and a lot of good tools, a handbook that they can take with them afterwards. That's, just like anything else. If you're prepared in advance, it's a lot easier. And I use that term easier kind of not loosely, because nothing that we can do, or trust companies or lawyers or accountants can do, will lessen the emotional impact of losing somebody loved. But we can help a lot with the non-emotional, and allowing therefore family and friends to grieve and deal with what they need to deal with.
Also, when you've got a family that is grieving, to know that someone is stepping away from the situation and dealing with everything as well is a huge sense of relief in many ways, so that you can go through the grieving process normally.
Yeah, and then that's another question about when you're asking your executor. You have to remember that that person could be grieving too. So there are professionals that can assist, and I think at the end of our seminars, people leave with their heads kind of rolling a little bit and a bit overwhelmed, but at the same time they know, okay, well, if somebody asks me to be an executor, I'm going to find out, I'm going to ask them to record where everything is, so I don't have to be searching for months and months and then think I'm done and then something else pops up.
How can people get involved? It's at the downtown location, and it's going to be held tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, that's right.
Thanks for the information. Can they go to the website? Everything will be listed there.
It's on the website as well.
Awesome. Pleasure.
Good.
Thank you very much, and some interesting information for a lot of people out there.